Tonight I'm actually doing old stuff, very old stuff, that are some of the first pieces I really ever wrote, and they go back about 5 years. And this first piece is an angry poem, and December 2007, I was hit by a car crossing a red light, and for about a month or two I was pretty much immobile in the dead of winter time, and that really sucked, needless to say. And I was very angry, and this is actually the second poem I ever wrote, and it got to the point where it took me a few weeks to really finish it. And when I began, I had so much anger and rage about the situation that I was handed, but by the end of it, I got to the point where I was actually so angry that I was angry at myself for being angry. And that'll be reflected in the piece. It's called Assholes.
You swore again.
My second piece ever. When I start to walk outside and the wind blows that very first time, I temporarily lose my balance. It always catches me by surprise and nearly knocks me right down. But by the next time that gust comes around, I'm walking with my legs now tense, my guard up and my mind aware, ready to stare down the air and stand my ground. Life is so much easier to walk through when you know what's coming at you, but life will keep you on your toes with twists, turns, and some mighty big assholes. Although it's tough, I can deal with those twists and turns that life provides, but dealing with the assholes is asking a lot from a man who's yet to decide when he's had enough of this sad, predictable game where the auspicious beginnings always end the same. So I have to ask, are you the one who cut in line, selfishly thinking I have way more time than you to waste in this place where everyone miserably awaits their fate so they can be told the mysterious charge in their account only exists because their payment was late? Time waits for no one, but I wait for you. As I stand here stunned at what some people can do, I suppose you're in a hurry and somehow this makes you right, but an asshole is never transparent when viewed in plain sight. Are you the one who ate my food at the J.O.B.? Did you think if I missed a day, then I'm giving things away? Like I lose all ownership of my treats because you're hungry? Are you forgetting what it's like to respect those you meet, that other people do not exist to provide you things for free? To top it all off, you'd rather remain in anonymity than fess up and apologize for stealing from a colleague. To me, apologies don't know cowards and thieves. Are you the one who wanted to fight over a stare? Never mind my glare was directed at the tall brunette behind you. It's amazing to me how trouble finds you, even when you're in disguise, when some primitive-minded jackoff wants to show off in front of the guys. Don't step into my face unless you really need it, and let's try not to start the meathead revolution unless you can believe it. Are you the one whose Oldsmobile was where I once stood? Never stopping, never braking, till I was on your hood, where you catapulted me off clear 5 feet through the air, then violently onto my rear, when my leg lay broken with my spirit, and I contemplated standing anyway so I could let you hear it. But I could not stand. The assholes won again despite futile attempts to understand God's plan. Speaking of which, are you the one who sits up above, alone in judgment, having all this fun? Do you enjoy when that wind blows, I catch a superbug or break some of my bones? Are you responsible for the mistrust that comes with that first gust? Or are you comfortable in your heavenly home simply being the omnipotent asshole? If I had your power to rid the world of them all in one single wave, would I then feel the tension fade, the anger go away? If a new destiny was made, the assholes had to shut up and behave. Would I finally be happy? Would I finally feel complete? Would I feel the need to fill the void where the assholes used to be? I begin to wonder honestly, the biggest asshole of them all is me.
All right.
As I'm reading that, I'm like, there's some lines here that I would really fix, you know. Second poem I ever wrote, so this is the third poem I ever wrote. I was feeling a little bit better by this point. And this is just about myself. And it actually has its own intro, so I'll just get right into it. Once upon a time, I tried to define myself in a sentence. With a pen and a pad, and after several minutes and several drafts, I wrote that I'm a walking, breathing, talking contradiction. I thought it was genius. I thought it was the best explanation of myself I'd ever come up with. I felt like it was fitting and unique. Over time, I shortened it to just walking contradiction. I felt like I had discovered something wonderful, like that first time I ever found Malibu coconut rum, or maybe something wonderful like a treasure map that leads to a chest full of Hostess products. Then one day, I was watching television, and much to my chagrin, someone described himself in the exact same manner. You see, most of my life I've been greatly confused. Ignoring the whole, I'm often lost trying to figure out which side to use. The reality is I'm half white and I'm half Puerto Rican. The fantasy is I'm perpetually hiding from the attention I'm constantly seeking. I'm also equal parts nerd and jock. I'm a 50-50 split of creative and critic. What this means is 5 seconds after I do something artistic, I tear it apart, and for some reason, I always take it personally. Is it like this for any kid who comes from 2 parents who could not be any more different? At times, I feel like I'm at war with myself, where the casualties and the kills are the same number. But don't get me wrong, there's a lot to be thankful for. I've got 2 sides of this story. I've got 2 ways to get there. I've got 2 things to fall back on. I know I've got twice as many excuses as the next guy. I'm halfway to the beginning and halfway to the end. 2 equal parts, never needing to pretend. I'm quick to run but slow to chase. I submit I'm an even split in an unbalanced place. I'm careless and carefree, careful and caring. I still look both ways when I cross the street. I'm outlandish and I think too much. I'm outspoken and I'm out of touch. I'm scattered and messy, yet somehow organized and neat. I don't want to feel the pain, but I cherish the scars. I want all the lessons without the hard learning. I want the shortcut in the long run. I want the blueprint to the finish line before the race has even begun. Yeah, I want the wisdom without using all the time. After all, chance favors the prepared mind. Some people think I'm picky. Some think I'm immature. I like to think I have a young heart and that I'm mature enough to live an adult life, but immature enough to find the humor of it. Mr. Frost once said, that nothing gold can stay, but my heart labors daily with my conscious mind to be exactly that way. I appreciate like a kid and worry like a man. I follow well-thought plans constructed by someone who's courageous enough to know when to hide. My dull dryness is always at odds with my frosted side. When I gaze upon my reflection, I'm often confused. If you ever catch me staring, trust me, it's not vanity. I'm just trying to understand this guy looking back at me. Now don't get me wrong, I like the guy. But his eyes tell me he's troubled, and his gray hairs tell me he's got a lot on his mind. He waits for his questions to come back answers, but mysteries are all they ever seem to find. Living second to second, looking for a moment worth saving, he needs to learn to separate the hunger from the cravings. His heart racing, his being searching. A trickle of sweat may as well be a river of doom. His smile is wrong side up while his mind is consumed, where every inch, every thought is begging to know what's wrong, and he's constantly looking to find the place where he belongs. He's wishing and dreaming until he no longer understands, trying too hard to make all these plans become demands. He finds himself unable to give and unable to try. He finds himself afraid to live, afraid to die. I start to feel sorry for this guy until I remember his eye. Sometimes I ask myself how I can hate to love something, but also love to hate it. The walking contradiction strikes again, but I'm the one who made it. One more, short, I promise. This one's really, really silly. It's also back from around the same time period. When I wrote this, I originally thought of myself doing this in an effeminate tone, but I never been able to do it that way. Excuse me, everyone, I think I see a moment in my sighs. As I'm thinking of a word that fits me, I grab life by the hem, and only then does it sink in that my inner fire accents my vocabulary. Going against the grain, but too busy to know, tailor-made emotions gift-wrapped in glances, gestures so fresh you'll think I just made them up, morning rendezvous become evening romances. A mashup of strong feelings never goes out of style, while the rush helps me craft them into something unique. When I care to say a few words, I just can't stop talking. Did you know this season heartfelt battle is chic? When it comes to how I feel, I fancy to be tickled while I'm wearing love, courage, and compassion. A spirited heart is my favorite accessory. What can I say? Passion is my fashion. It's called the Passionista.